Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Okay, we're good. All righty. What is up, guys? Hump day. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. Fantastic day. Really excited to be talking to you guys today. I've had a really good start to my morning. Had one of those, I put it on social media, but had one of those interviews this morning that was pretty surreal in the sense of, just a guy you never think about, you interview and talk to and whatever. And so that'll be on the show tomorrow. Big time college baseball interview is what it is. So pretty awesome stuff. Again, show dropped this morning, episode 291. Best bet, SEC gambling picks. If you guys have listened to the show, you already heard by now my best bet for Saturday, and it kind of spoils my prediction for Friday. But Gamecocks minus 12.5. Minus 12.5. I have South Carolina. I know that'll probably surprise a lot of you. But I do have the Gamecocks minus 12.5. I got the Gamecocks. I'll put it to you this way. South Carolina is either going to lose or win big. I don't see a close win here. I could be wrong, but I feel like either South Carolina is going to win this game by 2 touchdowns or more, or they're going to lose. So I'm siding on that South Carolina is going to win. The quote's pretty funny. I feel like I'm tempting the football gods, but the quote I put on the graphic is that, and what I said in the podcast is I don't think even Will Muschamp can mess this up, honestly. I think we're just more talented than Vanderbilt. I think Shi Smith will have another big day. I hope we feed the ball to Kevin Harris. He'll have a big day. I think Colin Hill continues to be Colin Hill. And the defense maybe gets a little bit of a relief after going up against Tennessee and Florida. Now you have Vanderbilt, who's not very good offensively. So, and we've just been good against Vandy. For whatever reason, we've been good against Vanderbilt. So, I don't know. I think Carolina minus 12.5 is the best bet. The total's interesting because it's so low. 42.5 is so low for a college game, but honestly, it makes sense for a game that Will Muschamp is in and Vanderbilt's playing in. So, yeah. So I've got Carolina minus 12.5. My best bet. We can talk about it, whatever. Also, the SEC gambling picks out today. So, kind of a low key Wednesday. I feel like not a ton going on today, though. Other than that, obviously we are recording tomorrow's show today as far as breaking down Vandy, full preview, all that good stuff. So yeah, excited for it for sure. Solo Bowen, if we lose, Will better be fired right after the game. I think that'll kind of be the sentiment from everybody. That'll be sort of the feeling from everybody if that happens. Yeah. SEC football too. Muschamp is already facing a lot of criticism by the media, and in his best benefit, this game better not be closer than 10 or a touchdown. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, honestly, I'd almost rather, and this might sound bad to some of you, and that's fine with me, whatever. I'd rather lose than win by a touchdown or win by a field goal. Just lose. I mean, just rip the Band-Aid off, start the healing process, get Will Muschamp out of there. Because there's just no excuse. There's no excuse to win this game by a touchdown. None. You're far more talented than Vanderbilt. I don't give a damn what the problems are at receiver. I don't give a damn what the problems are in the secondary. You're a much more talented and better football team than Vandy. So, in my opinion, Andrew Bauer says 28-10 South Carolina. That's a fair score. I think this will be a good opportunity this week to get some other guys involved at the receiver position. Maybe somebody, like I said last week, honestly, maybe somebody like Rico Powers, maybe somebody like maybe Luke Doty and Dak Joyner finally get some action. You know what I mean? So maybe get some other guys involved, get them touching the football. Because again, as good as Shi has been, man, you've got to find a way to get other guys involved. So, let's see. Juan Carlos Galvis, knowing your opinion on Muschamp, who would you go after as head coach? So I think there's a couple different names floating around right now. Matt Campbell, Mike Heupel, Billy Napier is another name. Joe Brady from the Panthers. So those are off the top of my head 4 guys that I would certainly go after. Robbie Jennings, kickoff at noon. Kickoff is at noon on Saturday. Let's see. Joe Anders. Yeah, so A&M beat them close. I know they beat them by 5 points at home. I understand that week 1, whatever. A&M's got their own issues, but still looking at this game, I think South Carolina should be able to pull it out. I want to believe it. Maybe I just want to believe it's going to happen. I'm honestly, maybe I just for a week I don't want to be doom and gloom and not necessarily doom and gloom, but I don't want to pick against my team for another week. Like I just, if you can't win this game by 2 touchdowns or more, it's going to say a lot about your football team. It really is. Let's see. Yeah, Joe Anders says if we do lose, I may even jump on your Fire Muschamp bandwagon. If we lose and you're not on the Fire Muschamp bandwagon, you're going to be by yourself. I just know because this will be the final straw. That's the football team reality. I think even 12 is too close. Don't want to push it, but I think we win by 20. I'm a believer in our offense, especially against a team like the Comma Boars of Candy. Yeah, I mean. I think it's a game. You're far more talented than Vandy. You should win the football games. That's why I'm picking. I think the best bet is South Carolina minus 12.5. I think that's the best bet. So, Trip Roche. Hopefully, everyone will get to play on Saturday like Charleston Southern. I'd love to see a similar score. I tell you that much. 72-10. I don't think that's going to happen. I'd love to see it though. I certainly would love to see it. Zachary Mobley, does it aggravate you more that the defense is so bad and Muschamp is a defensive guy? Yeah, 110%. I mean, I said that before the season. That's why I said it too, that it would be a bigger indictment on Will Muschamp if the defense was average in year 5 than if the offense sputtered. Because when you hired Will Muschamp, you knew the offense was going to have its issues. You knew there were going to be ups and downs. And heck, you knew you were breaking in a new OC this year. But in year 5, the defense should be above average. The defense should be a strength for this football team. And the fact that it's not, it's baffling. I mean, it's extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. Ray Tanner is not going to retire or be fired if we lose Saturday. Now, Will Muschamp, I don't know, but Ray Tanner is not. Let's see. Jeremy Crenshaw, I'm not sure that if we win against Vandy, Muschamp is safe. Every game we play has a handful of bad coaching decisions. He talks a big game. It needs to be better in the heat of the moment. Yeah, listen, man, it's like, how do you win the games? What happens during the game? Stuff like that. What's the final score? What's the final outcome? This is a week-by-week thing, in my opinion. And like you said, just because you beat Vandy does not mean all is well in Gamecock land. I agree with you. I agree. Trust me. I agree 110%. I said before that 5-5 should be the minimum expectation. I think 5-5 should. And, just because you beat Vandy don't mean you're going to get to 5-5. So, let's see. Robbie Jennings, you need to take a page from the Packers Monday night. They played running backs at receiver, beats throwing to one receiver all the time. Yeah, get creative. I mean, I'm down with that. I think Deshaun Fenwick can catch it. I think Kevin Harris can catch it. I think all 3 of those guys can catch it. Put them out there. Why not? Todd Smith, Chris, you're being way too kind with the quarterback play. In Shi Smith and the receivers that we have should win this game by 3 touchdowns with no problem. Or I agree, fire Muschamp. I think Colin Hill has been fine. I don't know. Maybe I am being too kind. I don't know, but I have no issues with the way Colin Hill has played. None. I think that, is he a bit of a game manager? Sure. But look what he has to work with. I mean, look what he has to work with. Seriously. Look at the receivers that Colin Hill has to work with. So I've been, again, I have no issues with the way that Colin Hill has played. It hasn't been perfect football by any means, but I've been fine with how Colin Hill's played this season. Jaden Harris, Xavier Legette, and Nick Muse will have a good game this week. I could see it. I could see Muse breaking out and having a decent game. Trip Roche, does Castlin have the authority to fire Muschamp? Well, that's generally where it comes from. I mean, that's where it would kind of start. So, he's got to get approval from people and stuff like that, but I think that's kind of where it would start. Let's see. Savannah Webster, Harris had a receiving touchdown, didn't he? Yes. He did have a receiving touchdown against Florida, the little angle route coming out of the backfield. So, Eric Collins. So, who would be out there if South Carolina were to exit Will Muschamp? Again, I think you look at guys like Joe Brady, Mike Heupel, Billy Napier, Matt Campbell at Iowa State. And then there'll be other guys outside of that as well. So that's just top four off the top of my head. Brian Welch, how happy would you have been if Muschamp's first word in the presser yesterday would have been effective immediately? I'm stepping down as the head football coach at the University of South Carolina. I mean, yeah, I'd be a fan. I mean, I just want to see what's best for this program, man. And it's nothing personal with Muschamp. It's really not. Like, I think he's a likable dude and like he knows football, but he's not a head coach. And I just think for what's best for this program and for us to ever get back to even competing to get back to Atlanta, like he's not going to be the guy. And I want to see a winner. I want to see a winner on the field. You know, I'm a fan through and through either way, but man, it's exhausting pulling for a team that doesn't hardly win. So, you know, I want to see a winner. And I think we have everything in place to be a winner. I think we have facilities. I think we have good players. I think we have great fans. You know, South Carolina is a great state, great place to live and great place to work. And why not? You know, it's like Spurrier said, why not us? Like, we have everything here, you know, bring in a guy who can get the most out of it and have us where we should be, which is competing for SEC East titles, in my opinion, at least every couple of years. There's no reason this can't be an 8 or 9 win program every 2 or 3 years. You either catch lightning in a bottle or you have a senior quarterback or you got a veteran team or you're scheduled favorably or whatever it may be. You compete for the East every 2 or 3 years, but there's no reason why we can't be like Michigan State. There's no reason why we can't be Iowa. There's no reason why, heck, we can't even be like Auburn. Like, there's no reason we can't be a program like that. The only thing we're missing is the lead guy. That's it. So, you know, just I want to get there. You know, I want to get back. We got a little bit of taste success, and I want to get back. So. Philip Carter Harris, if it's a close game, Carolina plays like crap but gets lucky and barely wins, does Muschamp get the boot? If they win, he's not going to get the boot. But like I told you, if it's a close game, I'd rather just lose. I mean, honestly. So I'd rather rip the Band-Aid off, get it over with, start the healing process, and be gone. SEC football, too, I'm not taking anything away from Vandy. Their defense still played well against the Aggies, but I just think Texas A&M started slow like everyone else. LSU sent them back to reality last weekend. Yeah, I think Vandy is probably in between those two performances. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're as good as a 5-point loss to A&M. Maybe they aren't quite as bad as that blowout loss to LSU. But either way, bottom line, end of the day, there would be no excuse to lose this football game. Losing this football game would be hitting rock bottom for this program. It'd be hitting rock bottom. It can't get worse. And I can't believe I'm saying this would be rock bottom when you lost to App State last year. But as far as like the SEC and you're trying to compete and show progress in the program, losing to Vanderbilt would be the ultimate hitting rock bottom. Like I said, like there's just no question. So, let's see. What was that? If you guys want to call in as well, let me open up the phone lines. If you guys do want to call in, 843-790-3377. If you have any questions, comments, whatever. Let's see. Also, if you have any questions for the podcast tomorrow, I'll be recording probably around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, previewing Vandy. If you have any questions, you can leave them there. You can send me a DM, whatever. You have any questions for the podcast specifically, feel free to leave those. Hunter Brown, how do you think Bobo and the offense would do with a quarterback like Gunner? Well, it just depends what type of offense they're trying to run. My biggest thing is this. If you're going to bring in the number one dual threat quarterback in the country, I want to see more of a spread offense. Like I want to see use his abilities, let him run the football a little bit. Like at least give that, that illusion we might run it with the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So you would think they do well with a quarterback like Gunner. Let's see. David says, I feel like they recruit good kids. When they get there, they put them in positions they aren't recruited for. Let them play their positions. I mean, we've definitely seen that with the quarterbacks playing wide receiver. Let's see. Savannah Webster, speaking of Auburn, who they play this week. No, they don't have a bye. They play Arkansas, so they're favored by 2 touchdowns, though. Joe Anders, do you think Jalen Brooks will help as much as the fan sites say he would if he was clear? We just need bodies, bro. I don't know if Jalen Brooks would go out there and be Sidney Rice, but we need bodies. We need other options. So probably so. I think he probably would help. Jay Bible, if he wins, he'll talk about how incredible the win was. Wouldn't shock me if they extend his contract. Savannah Webster, we were competitive against a good UF team until the last minute. If we lose this weekend, I'll have no words. Yeah, I mean, again, it'll be rock bottom. Brian Welch, listen to the 107.5 call-in guy the other day, and he is 100% correct. Honestly believe good, great coaches should be able to turn a program around at least 5 years, like Mullen did with Mississippi State being number 1 in the first ever playoff ranking, and Spurrier did with having us in Atlanta by year 5, not being 26 and 27 in year 5 and 5 and 15 in your last 20. Yeah, again, we all know the program's not headed in the right direction. I don't know. Again, I think the people that I've seen on social media that are trying to combat, that are going against saying that, like, it's just 2 games. Like, let's just see how it plays. Like, I understand it's only been 2 games. Heck, I guess you could win 8 in a row. I don't know. But as we sit here today, okay, you have to at least admit that as of right now in this very moment, Will Muschamp has shown he's not the guy. Could that change? Sure, certainly. Things change in college football week to week. But if you're arguing to me that, like, we need to see more or he's still the guy, again, like I said over the weekend, you're either on his payroll, you're blindly loyal, or you're just plain stupid. Like, I mean, there's just no reasonable human being with half a brain is going to sit here and think Will Muschamp is the dude for this program long term. Like, I'll be honest with you, even if South kind of turned it around this season, if they went 4-6, let's say 5-5 even, I don't understand how you could, like, Will Muschamp will leave the program off better than he found it, no question. But is it or is it not the goal to get to Atlanta? And how could any reasonable human being sit there and tell you, how can they sit there, close their eyes, and envision South Carolina even playing in a meaningful football game that would have SEC East title ramifications on it? Like, can you even envision it? I don't think any reasonable human being can envision it. So we'll see if he proves us wrong. But at this point, like, I'm 99.999% sure he's not going to. He is who he is. 9th year as a head coach. He just is who he is. You know what I mean? Like, people don't just make some huge evolution like that. You know, if that evolution was going to come, it'd come after he got fired at Florida. That's when it would have happened. But it hasn't. He's the same guy. Christian Richardson, will rain affect the game? Will we have to move the game? No, I don't think we're going to have to move the game up an hour or anything. Ball security. I think ball security will be a major thing in this game. So, Bruce Atkins, any word on Jakari Caldwell? Is he redshirting? We need help. Well, I mean, nobody's redshirting because this year doesn't count anyways. But, I don't know. I mean, just haven't played. I don't know. Carolina Titan, not only should we win, we need to demolish Vandy, get these younger players some reps. I'm tired of barely beating these teams we should be blowing out. Yeah, I mean, you need a dominating performance. You need a dominating win. There's no question. To get some momentum, to get some excitement, to get some confidence, you need a big-time win. You need a dominating win. I really honestly want it for the players. Like, because I know the players are frustrated. I know they're pissed off. You know, you get some relief this weekend. Again, you're taking on Tennessee and Florida. You get some relief. You need to go out there and just impose your will. I mean, you really, really do. You need to go out there and impose your will and whip somebody else. So I'm hoping they can do it. Andrew Bowers, if it wasn't for COVID, this no doubt would have been the do or die year for Muschamp. I mean, I 100% agree with you for sure. Let's see. Lindsey Hagler says they've become okay with mediocrity and it's just absurd. I don't know. I think there's just, honestly, I think what it really boils down to, I've talked about this before. Again, I think between the old school Carolina fan and the new school Carolina fan, there are clashing heads. I think a lot of it, though, just comes down to just there are people that, again, I'm not saying this is like a negative about a person, but you just become so loyal to your school. Like, you're almost just so blindly loyal. Like, there's some people I don't think that they couldn't bring themselves to say a bad word about their university or and I'll be honest with you, I know this might sound bad to you because I think everybody knows on this listening to this show, I'm not an alum. I'm not an alum of USC. I went to Newberry College and played baseball and then transferred and finished out, whatever. I'm almost glad I'm not an alum, honestly, because I think what happens, the people that are alums, that's why it's so personal for them, because they went there. That's their school. I kind of like being detached from it and having that, not having that sway my not cloud my judgment or cloud my analysis, if you will. I mean, I've been on the campus thousands of times. I've been out in Columbia. I mean, I feel like I'm as close to it as you can without being an alum, and I'm obviously a diehard fan. But I think there's just people that they want to support Muschamp because they can't bring themselves to say a negative word about their school. And I mean, again, it's not an indictment on them. I whatever, it is what it is. But I just think that's what it kind of comes back to. But you can't let emotion cloud logic. Like, you cannot let emotion cloud logic, and that's in any walk of life, relationships, business, and in this situation, you just can't do it. I think some people they let their emotions cloud their logic. So I don't know. That's my rant on that. Jaden Harris, I sometimes wonder why we don't take shots down the field after a turnover or a momentum swing. Yeah, I mean, we need to do more of that, I would say, for sure. SEC football too, more than welcome to call in, my guy, for sure. More than welcome to call in. Absolutely. People don't realize, though, take the voicemails. I think you can't go over like 2.5 minutes. So that's just, if you get on there and start rambling, it might cut you off. Jessica says, wonder why Muschamp said he won't address injuries anymore this season. Well, a lot of coaches are doing that, believe it or not. A lot of coaches are doing that. So I hate it. And, it sucks because I hate the fact we're probably going to be finding out on game day when guys are out. That's just a pain in the ass. But, I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Let's see. Will Collins, do you think the players want Muschamp gone? Any chatter on social media? No. See, and that's one thing I've never had to worry about. I don't think we'll ever have to worry about. Is I think the players do love Muschamp. They're going to play hard for him. I don't think you're going to see a team that will quit. And I mean, could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to see a team that'll quit on Will Muschamp. Here we go. We got a call, so let's take this. Yo, what's up, Mark? How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Chris? I was just listening in, and I was thinking back to last year when, I forgot if it was last year, 2 years ago, but when they were doing the Bowden at Kentucky, the Lynn Bowden thing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, man, we got playmakers on this team. I just don't. I would never see them doing this, but.
Yeah, no, that's kind of funny you bring that up because I've had that conversation before with people, and I mean, I obviously I'm a big Ryan Helinski fan. We all are, but I think back to last year, and I just think to myself, because Ryan was hurt. Everybody knew that. It was worst kept secret. You could see it. His knee was messed up. He had some arm issues, whatever. He battled through it, which, kudos to him. But I think to myself, I'm like, you saw, because Kentucky, when we played them, they had that garbage, basically fourth string quarterback. Wasn't very good. Yeah. And I'm like, they could have just said, you know what, we're going to keep playing him and roll him out there and see if he gets better and whatever. I think back to myself last year, they put in Lynn Bowden, they go to a bowl game, they turn their whole season around, have a great year. And I'm just like, how in the world was a 50% healthy Ryan Helinski, basically, whatever he was, but how was a crippled Ryan Helinski a better option than 100% healthy Dak Joyner? I mean, and I'm not sitting here saying, like, arguing that Dak Joyner should be the starter, but just in that scenario, like, I think that's the difference. Like, you saw Mark Stoops and those guys get creative, and they were literally playing a wide receiver at quarterback. And I don't know. It's just, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think we'd ever do something like that, which is a shame because we do have athletes. And, and the fact that it's just, the fact that like a Dak Joyner, I'm not one of these people saying that Dak Joyner, is a great wide receiver by any stretch, but he should be touching the ball. I mean, if you're, that was my biggest thing with the whole Luke Doty thing. Like, I'm not even one that's like that up, like before the season was saying like, oh my God, Luke Doty needs to be on the field every snap. But you can't sit there and say he's the fastest player on your team and then he never sees the field. I mean, that when you're a team that doesn't have a plethora of playmakers like us, like, you need to get all the best athletes out there. So I don't understand why you don't. So, but no, I mean, back to your point, I agree with you. I don't think we'd ever do, and like I said, it's no knock on Ryan, but it's just like, I just was thinking, I'm like, how is a hurt player at quarterback how is that a better option than a guy who's 100% healthy and you're running the spread offense and you have a quarterback who is mobile, but he's maybe not the best passer in the world, but he's mobile, like, and can run the offense. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. It's just, it's baffling at some degree. So
I don't know why Muschamp. This is my last thing, but I just don't know why Muschamp would recruit him. He just ruined his talent. I mean, not yet, but it's getting that way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for Dak because I don't know. It's just going to be weird to me if he goes through his college career and the way it's going under Will. I mean, never really sees the field, and I mean, you're just this fantastic. Like you said, it's like he has these God-given abilities that are just going to waste, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I'll be honest with you, though. I mean, he chose to stay, and I'm glad he stayed, and it shows a lot about his character. But if I was advising him, I would have told him to transfer. I mean, just straight up, like, go play quarterback somewhere, go to a smaller school, like, get on the field, like, because these guys all want to get to the league, and it's like you're not going to get to the league if you can't get on the field. So I don't know, though. I feel for him. I really do feel for him because he's obviously a great athlete. It's just sucks that he's not out there. So,
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, I've had that conversation a lot with people about Dak Joyner and last year. And again, tip my cap to Ryan. He battled through adversity, his injuries, but how was a healthy Dak Joyner not a better option? Like when you think, and again, that's thinking way back, but yes, the NCAA does hate us, by the way. Lindsey Hagler, I graduated from there and totally get the loyalty, but there's a difference between loyal and love is blind. Yeah. I mean, again, I wasn't trying to come at anybody, throw a slight, but I just think that's what happens a lot of times is like people see some of my content and they see my criticisms of Muschamp and, they just can't handle it. Like, I think that's really some people, but again, not trying to throw a slight. John Rice Spurrier would take a shot after every single turnover, and that would make a huge difference. Yeah, just momentum. Football's a momentum game. We all know that. I mean, it's, I'd like to see more of it, but we're limited offensive weapons-wise, so it's tough to take those shots, I feel like. Will Collins, how do you think former players like Connor Shaw, Gilmore, and others feel about where the program is going? I mean, I can't speak for him. I mean, Shaw's on staff. I mean, I certainly can't speak for those guys. I mean, they're not happy about it, though, do you think, right? I mean, they love the school. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think they're thrilled. So, let's see. Joe Dunn Jr., run game is pretty good. We got to give the ball to someone other than Shi Smith. Yeah, I hope you see Kevin Harris touch it 25, 30 times this weekend. I hope you see him touch it a bunch. I mean, he ran well. Get the running game involved, get it running, get it going often, early and often. Take the pressure off of Colin, then you can hit those deep balls. You can work off a play action, stuff like that. And like I said, I hope this is the week other guys touch the ball on the outside, like a Rico Powers, Jakari Caldwell, Dak Joyner, Luke Doty, whatever. But, I'd like to see other guys develop because, again, when you're playing the Auburns, the LSUs, the A&Ms, the Georgias, everybody, you're going to need other options. Like, I know that Shi Smith had a big game against Florida, which I was shocked at, but at some point, like, you're going to have to go to somebody else. It's just going to kill your offense if you can't. So, let's see. Jonathan Moffrey, what's your Miami versus Clemson score prediction? I was thinking about this yesterday. Isn't it funny? Like, College game day is going there. Clemson has a quote-unquote big game this weekend, and they're favored by 2 touchdowns. Like, that's a big game, really? Just absurd, man. It's a big game, and they're favored by 2 scores. It's unreal. My score prediction for Clemson-Miami. Clemson a lot, Miami not very much. I mean, honestly, why would you pick Miami to keep that game close? Eric Fryer, Mullins appears to be an option at tight end, young, athletic, and can catch the ball. Yeah, I'd like to see him get out there more. I think he got targeted once or twice on Saturday. Would love to see him get out there more for sure. Savannah, they did open up with a tough road game at Wake Forest, so they do play on the road. Donnie Cunningham, where was the Quandre White? And did anyone ever actually ask the Doty Dak question to Muschamp? Excuse me. Whew. They did not ask it after the game. Zaquandre just didn't get on the field Saturday. I don't know why. I mean, it was really the Kevin Harris show, which, I mean, I'm fine with, whatever. Jaden Harris, who do you think has the best chance at winning the Heisman Trophy? Right now, it might be Kyle Trask or Kyle Pitts. One of those two guys. I got like an itch on my nose. Might be one of those two guys, honestly, the way they're playing. Or Trevor Lawrence. 40-17 Clemson. That's fair. I mean, why, how's Miami going to stop them? Jason Derrick, Ben Rollins from Chapman High is a heck of a receiver. Don't know why the coaches aren't seeing that. I've actually never heard of Ben Rollins. Never heard of him. Savannah Webster felt bad for Fenwick. He was doing good. He looked so defeated after the fumble. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it's just tough. You just got to find a way to battle through it, fight adversity. But yeah, that was a brutal play. I mean, hit him right. I mean, nobody was catching the ball Saturday. Hit him right in the hands, and sure enough, he just dropped it. So, I don't know. That was just a brutal play. There's no other way to put it. Okay. Let's see. LG2D3, are you surprised we're not running more 2 tight end sets since our wide receivers can't catch? I think we've been running it a fair amount. I mean, I've seen Nick Muse and Key Mullins out there at the same time, but you might see it. I mean, and honestly, man, I hate to say this. I don't think we're fantastic at tight end. I mean, I think Nick Muse is a solid option. I don't think he's anything spectacular. And then behind him is just a bunch of youth and inexperience. So, Jessica says Kevin Harris is a beast, but I hope they don't overuse him and he end up getting injured. I think he's a guy, you look at him, he's obviously in shape, big, strong kid. I think he can handle the workload, 20, 25 carries, I think for sure. I mean, obviously you don't want to overuse him, but I think they used him, well last game. I wouldn't mind to see him get more carries. So Toby says, what's your take on Nick Muse dropping all those passes? Just lack of concentration, lack of focus. It's a mental error. So Cade says, where's the secondary? On the field, just not doing their job. Unfortunately. So, let's see. Jonathan says, who's faster, Jalen Waddle or Anthony Schwartz? I honestly would have no clue. I have no idea. It's crazy. It is already October the 7th. We're already a week through. It like this year, it's insane. Like, it felt like summer just went into fall like that, just done. Like, I don't know. It's like I blinked and I was like, is it really October? Like, it's crazy. Let's see. Santa Webster, I'm the only one who doesn't get the Les Miles talk. Kind of feel like he has lost it. He's 3-11 in his last 14 games at Kansas. Well, Kansas sucks for one. Number two, I think it's just more so about it'd make us relevant again. I mean, I don't think he's my number one option. I think it's just a fun name to throw around, but I don't know about if seriously, if I'd be seriously saying Les Miles. Eric Fryer, show some love to number 4, Dickerson, balling out. He covered Pitts well and was a stud on run support. Yeah, Jalen's been playing well. I'm just glad he's healthy, first off. But yeah, Jalen Dickerson, I think he needs to play more. I mean, no offense, and I hate to call by names, but give me number 4 over number 10 right now. That's 110%. Give me number 4 or number 10. So, and speaking of number 10, what happened? Jaden Harris says, what happened to RJ Roderick last year? He was one of our best players in the secondary. Now he's really struggling. Dude, what happens to any safety at Carolina that plays under Muschamp? I mean, honestly, we haven't had a single good one. So, yo, what's up, man?
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
I have one question. How do you think that we would have done against Tennessee? I mean, I feel like we would have beat Tennessee and would have had a pretty good chance against Florida if we would have had Marshawn.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it made a difference. I mean, the only thing that would concern me, I guess, week 1 against Tennessee was the O-line didn't play well. But, I mean, yeah, dude, anytime you're adding a player like that with his talent, I mean, does the Florida game turn out differently? I don't know. Does the Tennessee game turn out differently? I mean, I certainly think there's a chance. I mean, it's really tough to say. It's tough to say because, like, I think Kevin Harris is certainly not Marshawn Lloyd, but he's been serviceable the first 2 games. But you'd like to think Carolina would be at least 1-1 right now. I mean, again, it's tough to say for 100%, but yeah, I mean, anytime you add a guy like Marshawn, who again I expect him to be the focal point of the offense, so you add a guy like him, and it only helped. It only helped. So yeah, I certainly think there'd be a chance they'd be 1-1 right now at least.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it for sure. Yeah, it's unfortunate we got to wait till next season to see Marshawn. Just, I hate it. I hate it, but SEC football too. I never ever want to give Clemson any credit. The reason why this is expected to be a big game is because a lot of people believe in Miami's offense. I want to pick Miami, I really do, but I can't. Yeah, I mean, why would you pick Miami? Like, what? Until Clemson hasn't lost in like 2 years. Like, why would you pick Miami? Yeah, I going back to what you asked about Dickerson and RJ, and dude, do y'all realize Muschamp played safety in college? Like, how do we not have the safety position figured out? That's his position. It's literally his position. How do we not have it figured out? It's wild. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. SEC football too. Secondary itself looks bad, but yeah, RJ Roderick hasn't looked good this year. I'd take Dixon over him. I mean, he just got beat like a drum. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I don't. I mean, RJ was a guy though. He played quarterback in high school, and they converted him to. I don't know if they necessarily convert him to safety, but I don't really know how much safety. He played in high school, so. He's good for the tenacity, the toughness. He's a big hitter, obviously, but, man, cover skills, you saw that rear its ugly head against Florida. Jaden Harris, yeah, Rashad Fenton looked good. Rashad Fenton looked very good, locking down Demir Bird. Gamecock on Gamecock crime. Toby says, do you think firing Muschamp would solve some problems? Just trying to hear your opinion. I know it's a popular opinion among armchair coaches. I mean, it could bring a spark to the team. I mean, are you saying, like, will it salvage this season? I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but you've seen it happen like that where coaches, get fired and the team you get to hear it from a different voice. You know what I mean? You get to hear a different voice, and sometimes that helps. I mean, I think if you fire Muschamp, it's for the long-term health of the program. It's not to salvage 2020. It's for the long-term health of the football program. So, AJ Bowers, what is the best part of our team so far this season? Shi Smith. I mean, as far as a position unit, though, man, it's tough to say. It's tough to say because no one thing has there's been some good things, but I wouldn't say one thing has stood out and been like excellent. You know what I mean? Nothing has really been excellent to me except Shi Smith. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, SEC football too. I mean, hey, pick Miami. Maybe the football gods will hear you out, and we'll Clemson will get the L. Let's see. Bailey Campbell, I hear Tanner will retire and Castleton, who's not like Muschamp, will pull the trigger. Well, we'll see. Taylor Sykes, we need wide receivers. Understatement of the century, my friend. Understatement of the century. Let's see. AJ Bowers' running back group has been the best part of the team. Yeah, I mean, running backs have been good. Yeah, I've been happy. Been happy with their performance. I'm just trying to think like what has stood out. I'm just like nothing's really stood out. Like nobody's like, oh my God, they're just so great. Like been some good things, but still kind of waiting on those guys to break out a little bit. Todd Smith, because of how bad we played so far this year, is there a chance someone like Marshawn Lloyd to transfer out, not want to be part of South Carolina next year? No, I don't think so. No, I mean, I don't see that just because you're not good this year. I don't see that. Tornado Rocker 15. Our coaching staff needs to do a lot because our coaching staff is bad, in my opinion, especially the clock management. Yeah, I mean, they showed obviously last week they don't know much about clock management. SEC football, too. Speaking of tropical depression, there's supposed to be rain from that in Nashville on Saturday. I haven't heard it'll affect the game yet, so I think we're good to go. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, track the weather forecast. I mean, ball security, if it does rain, ball security will be of utmost importance. You might have to lean on the running game a little more, which, hey, maybe that favors South Carolina. So, I'd like to see Kevin Harris touch it 20, 25 times on Saturday. Toby says, defensively, do you think it's lack of talent or bad play calling? I mean, I feel like we have talent on that side of the ball. I mean, unless we've just been getting lied to or recruiting guys don't know what the heck they're talking about, I think we have talent. Like, I really want to believe that we have talent. So, I could be wrong. Maybe we're just bad. Maybe our players just stink. I don't think that's the case, though. I truly don't think that's the case. So, you guys tell me, what do you think? You think the players are no good? I mean, I don't think so. I think the players are good. I think we have some pretty good players. So, Philip Carter Harris, how does Ray Tanner not have a statue yet at Founders Park? I know he's been questionable as AD, but he's the baseball manager GOAT. Yeah, I mean, I think he deserves one. I know some people have said his legacy's tarnished because of the AD thing. Maybe it's because I'm a baseball guy, but I don't know. I just look at those as two separate things. I think Tanner does deserve a statue outside of Founders Park, to be honest. Because, like, I try to think, should we have a statue of Whit Merrifield or Michael Roth? Or, dude, I think Tanner, man. Tanner's the guy, you know. Tanner's the dude, man. Tanner's the legend. So I'm just, you know, I still love Tanner. I still have a lot of love for Tanner. I mean, I really, man, like, I think Tanner's only bad move is just putting his faith and trust in a football coach nobody else wanted. Like, outside of the Muschamp thing, like, I still like Kingston. I'm still a Kingston fan. Frank Martin's a good basketball coach. I mean, granted, we haven't always gotten the results we wanted, but Frank Martin's a very solid basketball coach. The athletics department as a whole has done well. But, you know, football's a huge part of that, of the way he's judged. And his one football hire has been Muschamp, and it's been abysmal. So, you know, I get it. I understand it 100%. I get it, you know. So, totally understand it. Hold on. What channel are the Braves on today? Oh, it's on MLB Network. Shit. I don't have MLB Network. I'll have to watch it on my laptop. Let's see. SC football too. Didn't it rain the last time we played Vandy and Nashville? We beat them by 23. We've been able to run the ball in the rain. Yeah, so it did. It rained late in that game, which, dude, I'm just thinking back to, like, not just Carolina football wise, but like personal wise for me. Like, God, that 2018 game feels like forever ago. I was in a bar in Charlotte watching that game. That feels so long ago. It's crazy. Toby says, aside from the Vandy games, what games do you see as winnable for the Gamecocks? I would say Arkansas. Felipe Franks has helped their offense a lot. Well, we don't play Arkansas, so that unfortunately is not going to be a win. I still honestly feel pretty confident with my 3-7 pick. You know, winning this one, I think Ole Miss could be a win, and I think Missouri could be a win. Now, Ole Miss is the one that I'm a little concerned about because they've looked so good offensively, and our secondary has not looked good. So, you know, those are the one, you know, Kentucky struggled out the gate. So, you know, you could still get to 4 wins. Believe it or not, we could still have a 4-win season. But will it happen? That's the question. AJ Bowers, how many seasons do you think Kingston has left if he doesn't get us back to regionals or College World Series? Well, regionals and College World Series are two very, very different things. Obviously, if South Carolina misses the postseason this year in baseball, there's going to be some serious issues. I mean, I've heard from people that have honestly told me this is the best roster South Carolina baseball's had since 2012 when they went to the College World Series final. So, you got a ton of talent. It's going to be tough. The SEC is absolutely loaded, as we all know, but hey, that's why you come to Carolina, playing the best conference in the country. And, I certainly think this is going to be a postseason team, if nothing else. So I'm excited. Brian Welch, I miss seeing Willie be packed out through the entire game. Even through last season, there's so many people leaving during close games at halftime. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Obviously, we're all kind of dealing with it. We're all going through it. It does suck for sure. Have you guys been watching NBA Finals? Do you guys like? I don't think there's anyone on this planet who's less of an NBA fan than me. Like, I just don't care. Like, I just do not care about NBA. Does not move the needle for me at all. Not in the slightest. Let's see. All right, got about 15 minutes taking your questions, comments. Like I said, if you guys missed in the beginning, podcast dropped this morning, episode 291. Best bet for South Carolina Vandy and SEC gambling picks. I have got South Carolina minus 12.5. Minus 12.5 is my best bet for this weekend, believe it or not. I know some of you are like, Chris, what in the world? I think even Will Muschamp can't botch this one. I think South Carolina is far more talented than Vanderbilt, and I think they'll get a big win. And I'll tell you this. Either Carolina's going to win this game by 14 or more, or they're going to lose. I don't see a middle ground here. I really, really don't. So I think Carolina as a team, they're going to want to bounce back. They're going to be pissed off, have a chip on their shoulder, have played two really tough teams. You come into Vandy, you're kind of getting a relief. You get to beat up on Vanderbilt a little bit. I think they're going to take it out on Vandy, get that at least a 2-touchdown win. So, Toby, do you feel like the defensive line has played up to par with the new defensive line coach coming from Tennessee? Yeah, I think the D-line's played well. I like Tracy Rocker. I think the D-line has played well. I mean, I want to see Pickens and Birch on the field more for sure, but I like Sterling. I like Johnson. I like Keir Thomas and Jabari Ellis, the experience inside, but I want to see Pickens on the field more. Kingsley Nigbari has been fantastic, but I want to see Pickens out there more. Man, I think Pickens should be a starter. There's no reason why he shouldn't be playing a lot more. So he's a good player. I mean, dude, it's like I said in the preseason. You recruit those 5-star guys within the play to make impacts. That's why you recruit a guy like Zach Pickens. Like, let him go out there and make an impact for you. Why not? So, let's see. Mountain West dropped their football schedule. They're starting October the 24th. When does I wonder Utah? What's their schedule look like? When does old Jake Bentley get to take the field? When does Jake Bentley take the field? That's my question. November the 7th against Arizona. November the 7th. Interesting. Toby, yeah, again, Jordan Birch has looked good. I mean, that's two guys I want to see on the field more, is Pickens and Birch. I want to see Pickens and Birch on the field more, 110%. Again, taking your questions, comments, 843-790-3377. Again, if you guys want to get questions in about Vandy, I'll be breaking down Vandy later today for tomorrow's podcast. Obviously, going in depth, talking keys to the game, key matchups, top storylines, stuff like that. So whatever. If you guys want to submit questions for that, you can do so on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. You can also call in and leave a voicemail. You can do that if you want to leave questions for the show, whatever you want to do. SEC Football Tube. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, man. That's the goal. 1,000. Because then I can start streaming on different video devices and stuff like that. But no, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for sure. SEC Football Tube. Go check him out. SEC Football Tube, that guy on YouTube. Brian Welch, do you think J.C. Horn ever gets his first INT, or are there any quarterbacks dumb enough to throw at him? I want to believe he gets an INT, man. Because, here's the thing. I understand quarterbacks don't throw at him, but, how can you be an elite DB and not have a pick in your entire career? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, again, I know they don't throw his way, but at the same time, it's baffling he doesn't have one. AJ Bowers, I swear if Bentley becomes a Heisman candidate, I'm going to flip out. Hope he balls out, though. He ain't going to become a Heisman candidate, man. Just tell you. I think Jake Bentley is who he is. And it's not trying to take a shot at him, but he is who he is. He's going to have his flashes of brilliance. He's going to play well at times, and he's going to have his times where you're like, what the hell was he thinking? Just like he was at Carolina. So, Tanner Poor, if we lose to Vandy, that's like varsity losing to the freshman team. Yeah, I mean, again, it'll be hitting rock bottom if you somehow lose to Vandy. No question. No question. No question. So. All right. Keith Ryan Elliott, how do you like John Dixon at cornerback right now? Big fan of John. John played well. Not a perfect DB, but he played well. No, BS pass interference call. I mean, I thought John played really well. I did. I thought John played really, really well. Travis Charles Harris is a workhorse. We need somebody to compliment him. Yeah, I mean, I think Deshaun Fenwick's a good 2 option. I really do. I think Harris and Fenwick are a good 1-2 punch, honestly. I really, really do. I like those 2 guys. So I feel confident, feel comfortable in those 2 guys toting the rock for South Carolina. And like I said, I hope to see Kevin Harris get it 20, 25 times at least on Saturday. I think he's big-bodied back that could, bring our offense a lot of success. I mean, really, I like the way he runs the football, runs hard. He reminds me a lot of Mike Davis. So. Jeez, here we go. Another article about Muschamp's clock management. Here's a good tweet for you. John Middlecoff, which I'm not really familiar with him, says, everyone I know who has been around Muschamp loves the guy. Never met anyone who thinks he's not a good coach in the NFL or college football, yet his teams always look bad. Says a lot. Brian Welch, after 2 weeks of conference play, who do you see ending up in Atlanta for the SEC title game this year? Or is it the same as you predicted on your podcast before the season started? So, yeah, I think Bama for sure. And I had Georgia. I don't know. Can Georgia make it there with Stetson Bennett? That defense is so good. I mean, it's going to come down to Georgia's defense against Florida's offense. Who wins that matchup? So it's going to be one of those two. If I had to pick right now, gun to head, I'd probably go Georgia just because I think the defense will be able to win them that game against Florida. So Keith Ryan Elliott, Fenwick looked good when he came in. Yeah, I like Fenwick. I like how he catches the ball in the backfield as well. So Travis Charles, who can help Shi Smith out without dropping the ball? That's only an answer we're going to find out as we go through these games, my man. That's the only way we're going to find out. So Philip Carter Harris, Fenwick and Harris, Lightning and Thunder. Yeah, again, I like those two guys. I think they complement each other well. Again, I really like Fenwick out of the backfield. Got to hold on the football. Can't fumble the football. Will we see more Zaquandre White this week? I think that's an interesting question, but I think you can get the job done with those two guys. You know, they're not the two best running backs in the country by any stretch, but I think you can get the job done with those two guys. So let's see. Taking a couple more questions. We've got about 3.5 minutes left here. Taking a couple more questions. Again, I have South Carolina minus 12.5 for my best bet. Gamecocks minus 12.5. And again, I know that may surprise a lot of you, but I think, like I said, I think even Will Muschamp can't screw this up. I think South Carolina is more talented than Vandy. And I think these players, man, I think they're frustrated. They're pissed off, obviously, with how everything's gone. I think they'll take it out on Vandy this weekend, get a big win, get a bounce-back win, get their first win of the 2020 season. So my best bet is South Carolina minus 12.5. Could I be wrong? Sure, but it is. Also, check out the SEC gambling picks. Check out the SEC gambling picks. And if you're going to gamble, go to mybookie.ag, promo code Gamecocks, get 100% deposit bonus or whatever, get a free play. Go over to mybookie.ag if you're going to gamble. But the SEC gambling picks 8-6 thus far. 8-6, not bad, not a bad start. Keith Ryan Elliott, does Muse put the drops in the first two games behind him and start playing like the Muse that we were hearing about entering the game? Yeah, I mean, he needs to. I mean, he's going to continue to get opportunities, I think. South Carolina's got to use the tight ends, especially with the struggles at wide receiver. Especially with those struggles, they've got to use the tight end. They have to use the tight end. So I think you're going to see Nick Muse get more opportunities for sure. Yep, I think you're going to see Muse get more opportunities. So let's see. All right, taking a couple more questions, comments. Guess I got about a minute left here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Quick reminder, watch party Saturday, Overtime Bar and Grill. We're going to be back yet again. Same exact schedule as last weekend because of the noon kickoff. So doors open at 11, live pregame show 11 to 11:30. I will be live post-game as well. Obviously, kickoff at noon. Come out. They have fantastic drink specials, food specials, everything. Fantastic place to watch the game, guys. If you're in the city, there's no better place to watch it. The specials are fantastic. The venue is fantastic. The people that work there are fantastic as well. So be sure to check it out, Overtime Bar and Grill. Also, the podcast this morning. Again, if you have not listened, it's out. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. You guys know the drill. Talking gambling, SEC gambling picks, and best bet for South Carolina Vandy. Again, I have South Carolina minus 12.5. Not to spoil my prediction for Friday, but minus 12.5. I think the Gamecocks do bounce back, get a big win. I think they're more talented than Vanderbilt. And you know what? Muschamp's a bonehead. He's a knucklehead, but I don't think even he can mess this up. I think the Gamecocks are just that much better than Vanderbilt. So, Keith Ryan Elliott, last question. Opinion on R.J. Roderick at safety. Didn't look good against Florida. I'd like to see more Jalen Dickerson. Put it that way. I'd like to see more Jalen Dickerson. I don't know what's happened to Roderick, but we'll see. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a fantastic Wednesday. We will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.